Hi there, everybody. I just wanted to update you on an important PCC meeting, which is coming up on October the 2nd, and to invite you to share some of your thoughts before we meet and make some important decisions. Over these last few weeks, we've been talking about having a temporary service pattern over the two churches, St Andrews and All Saints, and we've been in that place since July. With a new evening service, the 6th at St Andrews, doing early birds now on the 1st, 3rd and 5th Sundays, having a blended service of contemporary and traditional at All Saints as a single service, and midweek too, and then our contemporary service at St Andrews on a Sunday. And I think the pattern that we've been working in has been a really good one for this season, a really helpful one. But we did say back in July that what we would do in the autumn is that we would gather as PCCs and actually reflect on what God's been doing in this last few weeks and make some decisions on a future permanent service pattern going forward. And the important question that we've been asking, and I've been encouraging us to ask, is not what do we want, but what is God leading us into for this team, for our parishes in this next season. I think we've been absolutely determined to ground this discussion in prayer. And at All Saints, we have been praying on Wednesday mornings since about May time. Janet Finch has been leading us. It was going to be 5 weeks initially. It's now 20 weeks later, and we're still praying. And it's been really exciting to see the way God has been leading us, I think, in a vision for the future of All Saints particularly, and aligning us as we've prayed too. But we now need to make some actual firm decisions. And we're going to do that at our October PCC meeting. October the 2nd is a Saturday morning that the two PCCs are going to come together and discuss this. But we want to give everybody in the church a chance to pray with us, to reflect with us, to share your thoughts before that. So as you'll see with the mailing this week, is going to be going out just a paper, which is quite a long paper, I admit, but we wanted to give you the whole picture, which shares the position that we're in currently, and it shares some proposals that we are proposing to take to the PCC meeting then, and also some areas for discussion, which we particularly want to hear your thoughts on, that actually we can discuss those, and the discussion that we have will affect the decision that we make there. So the fixed proposals that we are suggesting is that firstly that we move permanently to a single service at All Saints, which, as we've prayed, we've sensed, I think, the leadership team at All Saints particularly, that this is the right thing for this season, which will be a blended service as it is at the moment of contemporary and traditional. There's some suggestion, one of the points for discussion is, do we put on a separate monthly service in the village hall, particularly an all-in service to engage families, maybe from our local schools, that would work alongside that on the second Sunday of the month and allow a more traditional service to happen on the second Sunday. That's just a thought and something up for discussion. Second proposal that we're putting forward is that we retain the current contemporary service on a Sunday at St Andrews and an evening service too. But what is up for discussion is where that evening service, the 6th, should take place. Should we keep it at St Andrews, or should we put it up at All Saints, which perhaps is a slightly better venue for it, but would involve a lot more work in terms of setting up, etc. The third proposal is that we keep going with early birds at 9 o'clock at St Andrews, now on the 1st, 3rd and 5th Sundays of the month. Early birds has been a great success. We're currently getting between 25 and 30 people coming to that, about 8 to 10 families each week. And it's been a great stepping stone into the church. And we're hoping by having it on the 1st, 3rd and 5th Sundays that will encourage some of those families to connect in with what we're calling big church on the 2nd and 4th Sundays. So they're the three proposals that we're putting forward that we're going to suggest. The discussion points are over this second Sunday service, possibly at the village hall. The time of the All Saints service very much is something that we want to discuss too. What would work best, not just for people coming, but for those who are being involved in services in the bigger context of what's going on across the team. Thirdly, we want to discuss about the midweek service at St Andrews. Is this a service to keep at midweek, which has been a really good time for many people to come in and is a lovely community? Or should that be moved back to Sunday at 9 o'clock? We would retain the sort of format that it's gone into now of a blended service of contemporary and traditional. But should that stay at midweek, or should that we be looking, when it's safe and when it's right, to move that back to early on Sunday morning and have 2 services on a Sunday morning? But again, that would clash with early birds and maybe some of the other setups as well. I think the other thing that we have been just being led to, felt God prompting us with too, is looking at the octagon and saying, is this the time to set up a new fresh expression service? It may start initially as a monthly service on a Sunday, probably Sunday afternoon, at the octagon, particularly to reach people who perhaps just the current services are just not working for, perhaps some of our CAP clients, particularly people who live on the Brook Farm estate, who it's just too much of a cultural difference to come to St Andrews. Others who've come on from other ministry areas. So that's something which we've been discussing, and we felt a bit of a nudge from God to do that. Interestingly, the booking that was in a permanent booking at the Octagon on a Sunday has now been cancelled. It was cancelled over the summer, so that frees us up, and we've put a temporary booking in for now, and we've committed to just go and pray at the Octagon between now and Christmas, once a fortnight in that slot, and just to pray, God, are you leading us into doing something here? So they're the main proposals and the main things up for discussion. We really want to have feedback from anyone and everyone in the church on any thoughts that you have on this. Not just your thoughts, but your prayerful reflections and anything that you sense God may be saying to you for the church. Now, I just warn you that the paper that we've put out is a long paper and there's a lot to take in, and it might appear on first glance to be quite overwhelming. But we thought it was really important to set out the whole picture of what's happening across the 2 churches, because it's important to see everything in context with everything else. But it's likely that most people would only comment on 1 or 2 questions. You might find that only 1 or 2 questions are relevant to you, are connected with you, or the services that you attend. So please, this isn't making you feel that you've got to have a comment on everything. Please just comment on the 2 or 3, 1 or 2 questions that you particularly have strong feelings and thoughts on, and put down any other comments that you would like to as well. Now, we need this feedback in by Tuesday, the 28th of September, so that we can do a bit of sorting and preparation ready to feed back to PCC on Saturday, October the 2nd. You can either fill this in paper form. There will be paper copies of this that will be available at our churches this Sunday. There's a link, electronic form, link to a Google Forms, Google survey in the mailing. If you can fill it in online, it's much easier for us to analyse online if you can. So if you can do it online, please do. But if you prefer a paper copy, please do. And if you just want to talk to us, any of the leadership team, any of the clergy, about just your thoughts on this, then we would love to hear from you. We're particularly setting aside 3 times where you can come and just have a bit of dialogue and a bit of discussion. One is on Wednesday, a week on Wednesday. That's Wednesday the 22nd of September at All Saints at 9:30 after our morning prayer. I'll be there, and you can ask any questions and have a bit of a discussion for anyone who wants to come then. We're also going to be having an available slot after the midweek service on the Thursday at St Andrews. That will be at noon on Thursday the 23rd of September, and also after the Sunday service at All Saints on Sunday the 26th. There's another chance to just talk together and be heard and have a bit of discussion face to face. We wanted to put them there because they are the congregations which are most affected by these proposals. So please, the messages, please pray with us, not just what do we want, but what is God leading us into. Please comment on what is appropriate for you to comment on. Please journey with us in this and pray for the PCCs on October the 2nd, that they would have real wisdom in discerning God's way forward. As it says in Moses, in Exodus 34 and 33 and 34, Moses says to God, if you're not going to go with us, we're not going to go up from here. And that's what we want to say to God. You know, if you're not going to go with us, we don't want to start anything new if you're not in it. So please help us discern that, help us discern the timing of that. So much is dependent on future staffing. You know, Peter's due to leave in the next few months, and we don't know what will come after that. COVID still is uncertainty, so we've said we're not going to start anything new until at least January, until we've got a better picture on that. But I think we can discern now, make some decisions, and begin to pray about these things which we sense God opening up. So please take part in that. Please do share your views, share your thoughts, and pray for us. Thank you.